All right, Brett. Since you're our Steelers expert, what do you think about the Steelers Cowboys tomorrow?
Um, I already made a prediction for the score. I just didn't say who was going to win. The other day, I said it's going to be a 2017 game. Pick your poison on who's winning. I have no idea.
Well, going off of what Mike Kresovich said,
yeah,
we had him on, and he's always a good guest. I really like having Mike on because he actually was a sports journalist. Him and I were the same major at Penn State, and he's he really knows his stuff. But what did he say about? Yeah, he said it's gonna be like 13-9. Steelers are gonna win on like a crazy defensive penalty. But I agree, man. Like, we haven't scored points yet this year. Why are we gonna score them against the Cowboys? And in prime time in particular, I think Justin Fields probably have like a rushing touchdown or two. I just missed a passing touchdown by Justin Fields against who was it, Jared? The last home game they had.
Oh, the Chargers?
He had 2 touchdowns. Now, if he had another passing touchdown, I said, if he throws for over 200, whatever, I can't remember what you said, but you said, I want him to have 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. And I said, well, if that happens, I'm going to join the priesthood.
And you got it.
I was 1 touchdown away from doing that. So, but he did have 2 touchdowns. He just didn't have 2 passing touchdowns. So,
right.
But, overall, man, like with I think with Penn State, we can pretty much be done with that. But the Steelers, man, like they have a lot of it. They do have issues. James Daniels is out. Highsmith is out for this game. Najee is horrible at running back. But we're good. I mean, I think overall we're good, man. Like Justin Fields, I really like him. Russell Wilson's in a perfect position to mentor Justin Fields. He's a weird dude, but he's in good position to mentor Justin Fields. I mean, he's a coach with pads, man. Like he wears pads on the sideline. He's a coach. He's basically a coach. Like, what's he doing right now? He's like, he just goes home to Sierra and he's like, I'm just bringing in my $1 million this year, and then, eventually we're gonna go like cure world hunger or something. I can see him doing that, but you know what I'm saying, Jared? Like he's just what's he doing? I mean, he's in a good position to mentor Fields, and maybe the Steelers plan for this to happen. I don't know, but it's working out well. I think we're 3-1. That's pretty good.
Do you know what's going to happen, sir? I know this is going to blow your mind, but I promise you this is really what's happening right now. Omar Khan is right now in the process of inquiring Davante Adams.
Yeah, I think
he's not making this mistake again, not with the Brandon Ayuk thing. Ever since the Brandon Ayuk thing. So you know what he's doing?
No.
He's going to be getting Davante Adams. And the Las Vegas Raiders are going to get Russell Wilson.
Have fun,
and
Brett.
This is where I say I hate my life.
Because Brett's a Raiders fan. So
yeah. So right. on that note,
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna head out, guys. All right.
This is how it looks.
All right, Brett.
I'm
see
gonna
you,
go
man.
cry
See you, bud.
I'll see you guys later. Good show.
Thanks, bud.
See you.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I think they will get him because I just think they will. Last I saw, I think it was today, they're making an aggressive offer towards Davante Adams. And yes, and Mike said, I don't know if you watched that episode, Brett or Jared, but Mike said the Steelers need more weapons, and that's what they're trying to do right now. And I think because they are, man, they're like one weapon away. I wish they could get a better running back, but they're one weapon away at receiver, I think, at really being true contenders in the playoffs. I really do. This defense, again, and I said with Highsmith, Patrick Queen, and TJ Watt, this is a Joey Porter days linebacking core right now. So,
I mean, listen, we can go gush on and on about the defense. This defense has shown so many great things. However, with last week, like we talked. Like, again, Chargers, it was great. They did exactly what I wanted them to do. We went up 3-0. We were going in a great place, and we going up against the Colts. And, last year I remember how we embarrassed ourselves because we were winning that game last year against the Colts, and then they ended up embarrassing us. I think they went like 30-7 in the last 2 quarters. Like, it was bad. So then you watch how they went up against them again, and it was exactly the same results. Like, we fell asleep in the first quarter. It was one of the worst quarters I've ever seen of the season, for sure. So we were down 17-0. We came back and outscored them. What was it, 21-10 in the second half? Justin Fields came alive in the second half. Dude, that man was possessed. I was like, who is this version of Justin Fields, and can we have him all the time? I would very much be a happy guy for that.
Yeah.
He very much had every single thing going for him. He made everybody look amazing. He made himself look like elite. Dude, this is like the version of Justin Fields everyone talked about in Chicago, like when he was coming into the NFL. This was the guy they were all going to see at all times. Dude, Chicago, if the poor city of Chicago, like, I can honestly say this for sure, 2 things in the sporting world. The Pittsburgh Pirates, the baseball team, is going to be complete garbage every year, and the Chicago Bears are going to ruin whatever quarterback they've got. Like, that's 2 guarantees you have in the sporting world. Like, it's amazing what this team has gone through since the Jay Daniels or Jay Cutler years. Like, Jay Cutler was like a rarity in its own, where he was actually a decent quarterback, but then they had absolutely nothing going for them on any other side. And when he went, it went right back to the same thing. They all looked like garbage. Like, everybody was like the most inept thing. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe what happens to Chicago players when they go into that franchise, into that system. Like, they never come out looking good, ever. So Justin Fields, it's a life preserver. It's Pittsburgh. He got out, and dude, if it wasn't like night and day, seeing how he actually brings himself into the limelight with Arthur Smith as his coordinator, it's awesome. I'm so impressed. I was not expecting this version of Justin Fields this quick. Like, was it like going to happen maybe in a year? That would have been awesome. Dude, he is like, I've wanted this a long time. And I think Arthur Smith can kind of say the same thing, because he's kind of been mediocre down in Atlanta as a head coach. So it's like both of them are having a renaissance right now and a resurge of their careers. It's the greatest thing that could happen for Pittsburgh. And again, a team like Dallas, this game this week, tomorrow night, prime time. Did you know this is the first time that these 2 teams have met each other in prime time in the regular season in over 40 years?
Well, it's the first time. I know it's the first time they've met on Sunday night. Now, they did the last time we played them. Well, I'll say the last time that I remember that the Cowboys beat us. I think it was Christmas Day. That was when Zeke ran it in at the end.
I know that was around Christmas time. I know exactly which one you're talking about because. Yeah. Okay, it's been 8 years. I'm going to say it. I saw the game at work on my phone. I was going back and forth to say what I was watching. I needed to know. So I was like, we're winning. We have the ball. They have the ball, but they're like pinned back, in our 10, 15 yard line with like 20 seconds to go. I was wondering how it was going to go down. Like, were we going to sack them a little more times? How long was it going to take for them to throw a Hail Mary? And then, of course, I saw on my phone the little line zip all the way to the end and this touchdown, and we lost by like 3 points. I was so devastated. I'm like, wow. And I mean, it derailed them. I think they were on a good path like in the season, and then that put us in a weird record. And I think we ended up, I don't know, like at the time that's 8-8 or 9-7. It was like, it was what it was. That team is notorious for always taking us down to the wire. But, dude, this game is like, I don't know, it's like Wreck-It Ralph football. Like everybody's hurt. Everything's, like, destroyed. Each side has something wrong. It's just going to be ugly. It's definitely not going to be pretty. I mean, maybe, here's the thing. If it's going to be pretty for us, it's going to obviously, again, come from Justin Fields and company with what he does. Now, Could George Pickens have the game of his life? I'm hoping. This is what I also need to see from the Steelers. I need to see the slate of the WR1. I want to see where George Pickens stands really as a big playmaker. Like, can he get free? Can the guy actually have like 120 plus yard game with 2 touchdowns? Like, it needs to be seen at some point. If we're really talking about getting somewhere with like the rest of the league, like, do we want to try to compete with Buffalo? Can we compete with teams like the Texans or I don't even want to say the Ravens, but yeah, they have a high scoring offense this year. I think they're number 2, the Ravens, in offense this year, number wise. Like, they just have always good stuff right there. But defensively, dude, the Ravens don't have an answer. They don't. They're really banged up on defense, really banged up. And the Bengals, like, they're holding on for dear life based on what Joe Burrow is doing. Dude has like a 71% completion this year. It's crazy. The dude is elite. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So they're always going to have these guys answer things, but as an overall team performance, this is why we're 3-1 right now. Like, we just have a lot of great things. Despite our injuries, we're constantly doing things right. We always show up when we need to, truly. I mean, you're talking what? If that one offensive call by Minka, the defensive pass interference or whatever by Minka doesn't happen, then we still had a shot. We could have won that game. Certain things happen. You can't win every game. Like, you're not going 17-0. It's just unheard of. It's very much a rarity. So I wasn't anticipating us going all the way like that. But to lose to a team like Indianapolis that didn't have a whole lot going for them, it was kind of startling, and it's unfortunate. But this is why you play teams like Dallas, who are completely banged up, and it's a great thing for them to have going into the next couple weeks because, like I said, this is the first half, which is the easiest part of the schedule, and then we go into the second half, which will be a gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. So they're 2-2. We're 3-1. Comparison-wise, we got a 51% chance to win. We're 2.5-point favorites. Over/under is 43.5. I'd probably take the under if you're going to bet.
Yeah.
But injury report, it's fairly even. I thought isn't Highsmith out for us?
I thought he was.
Maybe
is he saying he's questionable?
On here, it doesn't say anything about him on the injury report. So why did it take me to the Cardinals? What the heck? Let's see here. I guess it's giving me the entire NFL. Just give me a second here. But, yeah, so they got Trayvon is questionable. Brandon Cooks is out. Mike is out. DeMarcus is out. Man, they got a lot of injuries.
Yeah. But again, when you have a schedule like we do, it's Dallas this week, and then it's the Raiders next week. And I mean, yes, the Raiders can be good. They're consistent. You know, it's up and down for a team like that. I mean, if you can sloth your way through the Cowboys and the Raiders, that's 2 weeks that you can give these guys to heal up. Because again, teams like New York, the Jets at least, like, that's something that you need to prepare yourself for because they will hammer. Like, that's a tough hitting team. They are always going to make things close. Like, again, you can't predict really the NFL at all. I mean, no one can with anybody, especially with a team like Denver beat New York 10-9. Like, that's just how it works sometimes. Defenses will show up or not, and offenses will show up or not. But that's the thing. I like to think that you take away the first quarter of last week's game, the defense had shown up every single game so far for the Steelers. It was like the most consistent thing. I mean, you take away that first quarter, we weren't having a problem with that game. So I feel like what you're seeing now is everything just constantly going at a good flow. Like, we know we can beat teams that we're playing. We have to keep our minds, like, knowing that what we have in terms of injury or who's healthy now, if you can just get through it, just win by a touchdown, win by a field goal. That's the thing about the NFL. You don't have rankings. As long as you win, you have the better record. So you're looking right now again with Cleveland. Like Cleveland's not doing anything right now. I mean, Deshaun Watson's practically getting benched. Like their defense is what's keeping them decent or interesting. And again, everybody else's teams, like the Bengals and Baltimore, if their defenses aren't like in the bottom 25, I'd be shocked because their just numbers are bad. So I feel like we do have, of all the teams in our division, the best complete team. So I would like to think going forward with this schedule, could we lose another one? It's possible. I mean, but in the end, if you look at how we go into the bye, week 9, if we're 6-2, even 5-3, I'll even be like as low as say 5-3. That should still be winning this division because everybody else is going to be playing each other at some point, and they'll have to win or lose. So right now, I think the Bengals are playing the Ravens this weekend. So
let me look here. We got Tampa Bay at Atlanta, New York at Minnesota Monday, right?
Yep.
No.
No.
Oh, they're overseas. 9:30 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, the London game. Yeah.
And then we got, let's see, Baltimore at Cincinnati at 1. We're Sunday night. Buffalo at Houston. Cleveland at Washington. Miami at New England. Got a lot of good matchups.
Dude, the Washington Commanders, if you've not been like following them, they're 3-1 right now. Jaden Daniels, LSU, dude, he is rookie of the year right now. It's awesome. I had a feeling this was what was gonna happen for Washington. They were a dark horse team to me. They're very much fun to watch. Like they're doing a lot of fun things. So
yeah,
I mean, again, we're 1 or 2 pieces away offensively. Now, if everyone was healthy defensively, again, this would not even be a contest. We would be taking on the AFC for sure. But again, all the injuries, it's like you got to pull back and just kind of hope that you sneak yourself in because everybody else, again, they're kind of all over the place. Like Buffalo is a good team. They have a lot of good stuff. The Ravens, again, they have a lot of stuff, but I think their record is below us. Like there's not a lot of like eliteness in the AFC. Like everybody's doing something different. So it's definitely going to come down to how fast can our guys heal up. And a team like Dallas, dude, I mean, best case scenario, like I said, we have all these great weapons. We have Darnell Washington, Pat Freiermuth. You don't have to just rely on George Pickens. They could get the ball too. This game could very well be a great coming out party for a team like Pittsburgh, who's looking for an identity offensively. So you want to do something big. Yes, make them be the big playmakers. And again, what we're looking at is probably, if I want to put a realistic score on this, I would say that's pretty close. What you said, it would be 20-17. That would be what I realistically would think for us, for Pittsburgh to win. But perhaps we see something a little different where we go maybe 28. Maybe we have 4 touchdowns in this game. Hell, I'll be generous and say 4 touchdowns and a field goal. I love Chris Boswell. He's one of the best kickers in the regular season. So, I mean, I'd say my wildest dreams, I'll say we win this game 31-10.
Okay.
But realistically, it'll be 20-17.
Yeah, I think it's possible we score some touchdowns. I mean, Micah is out. Lawrence is out. Diggs is out. I mean, questionable.
Yep, Diggs is out. Trayvon Diggs.
So, yeah, man, it's like one of those things where they have a lot of injuries, and our injuries are less significant than theirs. So, yeah, I could see some points being scored. But
and dude, don't forget about TJ. Like the guy who's going to be protecting for Dak Prescott. I mean, dude, he's going to be running everywhere this game. It's another one of those things where TJ's going to feast. It's going to be really fun to watch him go all over the field.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be it's a good matchup, and it's Sunday night, so I'm happy to see it. But Jared, do you have anything else you want to say about the Steelers?
Yep, I've covered it all, bud.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yes.
I don't really have much to say, man. I was talking to some people about the Steelers, and I just said, I'm at the point now with the way they are, the way Tomlin is, that to try and pinpoint what they can do or pinpoint issues or pinpoint what they're trying to do. Mike said if Mike Tomlin had a quarterback, they probably would have won a Super Bowl fairly recently, and that's true. But yeah, man, I really don't know what to where to put my finger on the Steelers. I just don't know exactly what in the future, what they're going to do, what they're really trying to do. Like, can they actually compete for a Super Bowl? I think at this point they can compete for playoffs and doing decent in the playoffs because they're a scrappy team, but we'll see.
That's fair.
That's where I'm at, man. I love to break down Penn State because I know them. I know my team. But the Steelers, I just don't know I really don't know what to say. And that's kind of why I just let you, say your thing because you're really passionate about the Steelers. And they're absolutely my team, but
let's tie it all together because you think about this. Penn State and Steelers are, again, mirroring a lot of things where we both got offensive coordinators that are really improving a lot of the game. We have a lot of great play coming from quarterbacks. Like, we're doing some very important things, but we're still questioning our head coaches. Despite all of the improvements, we're still arguing, is this going to be the time where they push themselves to do what they need to do to get to that level? Like, everyone else knows what you need to do, but will they do it? That's the thing. It's like Tomlin and Franklin might as well be brothers. Like, they seem like they handle themselves almost identical. They feel like they are doing everything they want to do, and they say it in a way that only they can explain it. Like, it seems like they very much have that in them to always be kind of like, I want to say what I want to say, and I'm going to say it like this, and then you're going to hear it, and you're not going to know how to say it back because I'm the only one who can say it. Like, That's how they act. So it's interesting how we both like these teams because they kind of have a lot of the same either problems or how they want to go about their business. So I would love Penn State to win a national championship. I'd love the Steelers to win a Super Bowl, but where do the coaches want to take us? Like, you're right. I totally understand where you're coming from, and I understand that problem myself. So it's just going to be up to them to lead this team.
Yeah. I realistically see in the near future, depending on how Penn State does, James Franklin not being at Penn State, and I realistically see Mike Tomlin not being at the Steelers anymore because they can't keep doing what they're doing. If you want, because you just can't, man. Like, you can't keep doing this. It has to change. This isn't Marvin Lewis and the Bengals for 20 years. It can't